ask myself, why would I go into anything? It's always checking in with myself and asking why. And so today, the reason why I'm here is really to simply share my story of trying to live pure aloha, and to do that through social entrepreneurship. Hopefully in the process, if in the sharing of my story you can take away something to incorporate into yours, I think it was worth my time and hopefully yours that I came here today. So, who has been to Uncle Clay's House of Pure Aloha?
Hoppa!
Hoppa. That's the big buzzword, House of Pure Aloha. Awesome. So, before I say any more, we've got a great video I'd like to show. It gives you a good overview of what we're all about. It's a video of our grand opening. We recently launched just about 3 months ago, and this will give you a great flavor of Hopa. Started with Uncle Clay. I used to come to the old shop almost, through my whole life, and I always knew it for its magic iced teas. But as I got older, I really realized that there was something even deeper going on, and that was really the sharing of pure aloha, bringing the community together. And yeah, just about 4 years ago was when I asked Uncle Clay, how can I help you? I saw how special this place was. Living my childhood dream, I always wanted to own this little mom-pop institution, and I always dreamed of serving the people that I had that opportunity to serve, tens of thousands, and I realized that aloha is not quite the aloha I used to know as a little boy growing up. So I just want to do my part to make sure that aloha is always going to be the aloha that should be served and shared amongst everyone that lives here in Hawaii. Well, we really did a lot of deep thinking and how do we take one of the most iconic snacks of Hawaii, shave ice, and make it even more Hawaii. So our shave ice is all natural, it's homemade, and we really look to source our ingredients locally. And I guess there's not enough respect, not enough reverence I feel for the word aloha. When you serve everyone with an open mind and an open heart, and treat them exactly like, not just ohana, but we raise the bar of that note. We raise the bar and treat you just like blood-related ohana. So that is Uncle Clay's House of Pure Aloha. Just about 2 hours ago, I came straight from the house. We had lines out the door, a lot of kids coming after school, and the Pure Aloha was definitely flowing. But I had to pull myself out because I lost track of time. It was like already 3:15 already, and I was like, oh man, I gotta get to the net impact talk. So. We are very happy to be open, and this is where we are. We're in very exciting times, and really there's this overall sense that as simple as what we're doing is, that we've tapped into something extremely profound, and that hopa, love, and inspiration just continues to be shared
with people from all walks of life throughout Hawaii, visitors who are visiting us saying, this is what I was looking for when I came to Hawaii. This is why I came to Hawaii. This is why I live in Hawaii. And we just do it very simply, spreading pure aloha, one shave ice at a time. So I wanted to kind of track back though, because my story, this is where I am today, but to get here, like all of us, how we are here today, all had a journey that we took, a personal journey. So I'll share a little bit about that. I'll also talk about some of the community funding or crowdfunding that we did. I think that was a big part of how we were able to launch and a big part of our philosophy as a business. And then finally, just to wrap up, kind of my thoughts on social entrepreneurship and closing on that. So my personal journey, some people say you're born an entrepreneur, some people say that you develop your entrepreneurial abilities over time. I think I fall in between. I think I had some entrepreneurialism in me, but it was really fostered over time. The first business that I had was a guppy farm. I had all these bubbling tanks at the side of my house, and I'd spend more time with my fishy friends than with my textbooks. Unfortunately, my parents were okay with that. I'd breed, raise, and sell my guppies and sell it to the pet shops, and although I didn't make a lot of money, I realized that it was something I was very passionate about. About a few years later, I ended up starting another company, which was an online jewelry company called Wine Hut, and thanks to eBay, I was able to sell jewelry throughout the world. And as you can see, this is, I think, the front page of my eBay page. I already had this concept of aloha and how it was not just a slogan, but really something true that can be incorporated in our lives and in business. But my journey didn't really evolve and transform until I got to college. So I went to USC for undergrad. I just graduated last year in 2010, and it was there that I say that I found my love, the love of my life, social entrepreneurship. It was the combination of this passion for entrepreneurship, but also passion that's even deeper for me, and that is of service, to be of service to others, to the world. And in social entrepreneurship, realizing that there was a way to blend these two things, that they weren't mutually exclusive, that in doing well, we can do good, or by thinking about how we can positively impact the world, we can create the best, most sustainable, profitable, impactful businesses. So some of the experiences that I had while at USC, I got to travel to India. That was a very transformative experience, and work on some social entrepreneurial water projects there, looking at different innovative ways to empower the community, to bring clean drinking waters to families, as well as some other smaller projects on campus. Just really seeing so many different needs and having that passion, always knowing that there's some sort of solution if you're willing to go out, do it, try things, learn, and keep moving forward. Another big part of my experience of going away to Los Angeles and going to college there was realizing how grateful I was to be born and raised in Hawaii, and realizing that Hawaii had something very, very special here. And the experience of being able to be raised in this kind of place, I think informed the way that I went about looking at business, why I was so compelled by the idea of social entrepreneurship. by the end of graduation, I was totally shocked when the Dean of Religious Life came up to me and asked me to talk about my vision and belief in Pure Aloha for the USC Baccalaureate ceremony. So I had a chance to give a speech on Pure Aloha, and I just talked about my story. I talked about why I'm passionate about social entrepreneurship, why I think Aloha is a very real and important thing that is needed today in life and in business. And so when I looked at everything, I realized that social entrepreneurship is something I'm very passionate about, but it's only a subset of who I am as a person, and that is trying to figure out what does it mean to truly live Pure Aloha. And that's how I continue to go forward. I say that I know very little at this point, but as I continue to move forward, the doors continue to open, the opportunities continue to present themselves, and I'm continually blown away. So I think just maybe I'm on the right track. So one other big part of my college experience was a lot of phone calls back home to Hawaii. My Uncle Clay, has had the childhood dream of owning this neighborhood candy shop in Ainahaina Shopping Center. And it was the summer of my freshman year that I came home that I saw every single person leaving just had a smile on their face, joy in their heart, and just realizing how special this iconic mom and pop was. At the same time, I realized that it was, as a business, struggling. That every day was a matter of surviving to the next. Uncle Clay had sacrificed so much just to keep the store alive, having a nice home and then a smaller one, then renting, and so on and so forth. But really believing that somehow, by pushing another day, things would get better. And so it's been a 4-year, really, collaboration working with Uncle Clay and trying to figure out how do we take this foundation of Pure Aloha, use that as a basis for our business, then from there figure out what we're going to do so that we can continue to serve for generations and generations to come. So throughout my time at USC, I did all my homework assignments on Uncle Clay's feasibility plans to business plans, and that was when I knew that right after graduation I would fly back home and build this new house with Uncle Clay. So one of the big things that happened, one of the big doors that opened, was the opportunity to really engage all of our loyal supporters as part of this new beginning. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we were able to actually raise a majority of the funds that we needed to build the new house. And I've got a video that kind of shows what we did. We ended up sort of launching a campaign, reaching out to family, friends, supporters throughout the world to collectively help us build this new house. So this is the video here.
It all started in childhood dream. About a half century ago, I would go to the local neighborhood candy store and never feel the same. I want to own this store someday. Now, here I am, living my childhood dream. So
launching a sustainable social enterprise, one that can serve pure aloha for generations and generations to come. Hopefully throughout communities here in Hawaii and eventually throughout the world.
In this day and age, we must come alive with pure aloha more than ever. By starting the first House of Pure Aloha, we can bring about a vision that we all share. Our entire one world, ohana, connected heart to heart through pure aloha. Thank you, and pure aloha.
Pure aloha. Watching that video always gives me like chicken skin, remembering how far we've come to today, but also just continuing to remind ourselves that the reason why we got into this in the first place is all about that vision. As Uncle Clay said, as our vision reads, our entire one world ohana, connected heart to heart through pure aloha. And yeah, Scott, when we were talking about externalities and all these different concepts, you know, it's all tied into that. It's really looking at how does our actions, individual, organizationally, have an impact on other people, and not just the people we know, but people on the other side of the world. And so it's really from that set of values that we try to live pure aloha, individually and as a business. And hopefully it turns out to be one that we can run a sustainable business on. So this was a video that we created late last year in the attempt to raise the much needed funds to build a house. What was really unique about it though was how we went about it. So this picture is me and my friend Josh. Josh is really important, not only being a great friend, but also a very great connector. So we were taking entrepreneurship classes together, and he was in the same class, and I asked him to help on the business plan. But he just so happened to also be taking a class with Jessica Jackley, who co-founded Kiva and was in the process of starting a new company that would take this crowdfunding concept that she had successfully done at Kiva, getting a lot of people to raise money for small loans to micro-entrepreneurs throughout the world, empowering them, giving them a hand up out of poverty, not a hand out of poverty. And she, at the time, was working on this new company called ProFounder, basically taking that same crowdfunding concept, applying it to US-based companies. So Josh was taking that class, he was writing a business plan with me, and said, you gotta meet Jessica. She's doing some really cool things. And a few phone calls and emails later, we were signed up and in the process of creating our raise. What ended up happening over the course of a few months of planning and then finally launching the raise is we raised over $60,000 from several dozens of people, and gave us that real boost that we needed to be able to launch. For our success, the House of Pure Aloha got on the Wall Street Journal. We got the money that we needed, and one of the main things was we were able to build that community capital. The resource of the relationships that are all important in starting any business. And so we're getting that support, that feedback, people telling each other about us, and that marketing before our lunch. So a little bit more about the community funding process. Like I said, we raised $62,000 or so from 68 investors. We actually have one of our investors here today, my good friend Jack. Graduated from USC with him. And yeah, we got investments from family, from friends, and even strangers who all shared this vision of Pure Aloha and wanted to be part of building this new house. So the way it worked, it was a revenue sharing agreement. So it was a way that we could share the success of this new business. With every shave ice, we're paying our investors back. In the private raise, if we are able to pay our investors back in full, then they can actually profit on those excess funds. In the public raise, those excess funds will actually go to a nonprofit organization. We've chosen Kanu Hawaii for ours. And so some of the lessons that I learned going through the process was that it's so important to share your story, to share your vision, and also your success, and letting go of the resources and sharing it with others. And when you can do that, just amazing sorts of collaborations, shared inspirations, doors that will open because of that. Also learn that it's all about relationships. At the end of the day, what really matters is those connections that we have to each other. And so, in raising money, at first I was kind of, I don't want to ask my friends for money. But I realized that it wasn't so much about asking for money as it was asking to have them be part of something if they believed in, if they wanted to join, that here was an opportunity, let's do this together. And it was all about that relationship building, friendship building. And then lastly, it takes a lot of perseverance, patience, and belief. I got into it, we were like, oh, we're going to raise all the money that we need. We needed about $120,000. Which, as you can see, we fell way short, but we just continued to believe that some way or another it would happen. Keep making those phone calls, sending those emails, and believing that what will happen will be as much as we need. So I had this Hawaiian quote on my board, and I kept looking at it. It's Ohe hana nui ka alu'ia, and it says, no task is too big when done together. And that's really the basis of community funding, is being able to reach out to a lot of people to collectively accomplish something together. So, yep, if anyone has questions on ProFounder or detail in that, I'll be very happy to share. So, kind of wrapping up, looking at where Hopa is today and where we hope to take it tomorrow and into the future. Like I said, we are open and serving. Today was day 96. And yeah, you know, we see every day as a blessing to be open, just seeing all the obstacles that we had to overcome to be here today. So far, we've crafted and served about 9,000 shave ice. It's a lot of shave ice, but we hope to keep pushing that. And we're happy that we have biodegradable bowls, because at the end of the day, that's a lot of trash, and we're happy that we're doing it in a very responsible way. Our current team, we have 5 hosts, so we're just hosts there, serving our guests. But we also have a huge team of supporters here and worldwide rooting on for us. If you just look on our Facebook page, you can see people always saying, oh, keep going and good luck. We've got some really exciting initiatives in the works. As long as I can take care of the other 100 tasks that any entrepreneur needs to finish. The hope is that we'll get to these, but one is implementing a very simple company giving program called Pure Aloha Coins. And in this program, we'll actually, with every shave ice or product that you buy at the register, we'll give you a coin, a Pure Aloha coin, and we'll have different nonprofit partners that we actually want to support. And you can go to it and choose whichever one you're most compelled to support. Through that, we're also raising awareness on important causes and projects and organizations in our community. And I could just see, like, parents coming in with their kids and teaching them the importance of giving back, and just raising awareness in that same process. Pure Aloha postcards. I haven't really talked about this publicly, but I'm really excited. It's a very simple idea. Postcards, it's a great way to express our love, appreciation for others. We're hoping to start sort of a postcard campaign where people can simply write a message to people who are meaningful in their lives, send it out, and just see these postcards spread throughout the world, and in a very simple but tangible way, share Pure Aloha. And that's just the beginning. There's so many other initiatives. I lose track of it. People are constantly coming with their inspirations and sharing their ideas with us. So I can't wait to see what we'll be doing next. In terms of goals for the house, our main goal really right now is, as a startup, we need to reach a sustainable level. So I can be completely transparent with everyone and say we haven't reached that point yet. So please come and support. Tell your friends, tell your family. We need the support of the community to be able to survive. And as inspired, as excited as we are, we're really seeing the tough realities of running a business. And so our hope is that we can reach that sustainable level. And once we do, really start looking at the next phase, which is, now that we've built this sustainable first house, what is the model? What works, what doesn't? And then in that same process, be an example for other businesses, share a message, but eventually people are already asking for it, to be able to build houses in other communities here in Hawaii and eventually outside of the islands. Just wanted to point out that line of pictures there. I put these together. These were all taken at our soft opening. And as you can see on the left, we have some elders, our older generation. In the middle, that's myself and Uncle Clay, here today in the present, and we see all those keiki on the right, to me, which represents the future. And yeah, every day as I serve at the house and I think about why I'm doing this, there's both a sense of deep respect for our past and all that has happened to bring us here today. And that in itself is amazing, just to think about the progress, the challenges overcome. We live in a very special time. But also, at the same time, to think about the next generation, the kids, as they walk into the house. What will the world they inherit look like? And that it's upon our shoulders to take responsibility to progress and move to a better state than it is today. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to today and what we do today. So we've got a big vision, but we do it one shave ice at a time, sharing Pure Aloha, living Pure Aloha, and hopefully that vision that we have, we can step closer and closer towards. So, in closing, I'd like to just ask a question. In your your personal journey, wherever it may be, however it may look, how can you help create a world of pure aloha in both big and small ways? I think this is what the world is calling for, what we're individually calling for, and I wish you the best on your journeys.